already have a caller waiting for you. I understand
Wonderful.
that Leslie from Centerpoint is already on the line. Leslie, we appreciate you staying up late with us as well. Please go right ahead with your question.
Yes, I have a question about the child custody. The non-custodian is the one that's dealing with the issues because the mother has full custody. Of course, it's Alabama laws. The mother automatically has custody. So what if you have or ever dealt with a situation where you have a good father and he moved on, and then now you want to give him all types of this, that, and the third protection orders against them from not seeing the child for no apparent reason? What can men that want to take care of their kids do in that situation when these women are purposely doing these things against these men who are in these kids' life? So what can they do about that?
That's a great question.
That's a great
That
question.
is a great question. It sounds like a very difficult situation. You know, we obviously have a standard in Alabama, like in many states, where the standard when it comes to child custody is what is in the best interest of the child. And if you have two good, fit parents, it's obviously in that child's best interest that both parents have an active and constructive role in that child's life. So the advice that I would give Leslie would be for that father to go speak with someone who practices family law, and they may file, if the parents were unmarried, then they would file what's called a paternity action, and that's where you go to a court and you ask that court to declare that man to be that child's legal father. And from there, rights for custody and possibly child support will obviously flow from the father to the child from the court adjudicating him that child's father. So the advice that I would give Leslie would be for that father to go and speak with a family law attorney and discuss potentially filing a paternity action in the county wherever the child resides.
Senator Leslie brought up the topic of custody. Tell our folks a little bit about how important it is to get the right custody agreement on the front end rather than trying to change it down the road.
Absolutely. It really can't overstate the importance of that, to be perfectly honest. Custody is something that, I mean, you're talking about your most precious asset, your children, but it's very difficult to change a custody order once it's in place, especially where possibly one parent has what's called primary custody, and that's where that parent has most of the time with the child. They're the decision maker for that child most of the time. They also would have, you know, primary residence for that child. If one parent is declared to be primary resident of that child, there's a heightened standard to modify that order. You have to go back to the court and modify that order, and it's just very difficult. It's not something you want to go through. I mean, let's be honest, no one ever wants to talk to a divorce attorney more than once. So we want to get those orders right the first time, just to make sure that you don't have to go back and modify an order because you don't want to be fighting on the back end to try to get something, like you said, that should have been done right the first time.
Very, very important.